Alright, so Attuma is finally going to rank 4. I'm a huge fan of this guy. The buff was so good in my opinion. So yeah, just cannot wait to take this guy to rank 4 and just like have some fun with him. So I believe a couple of days ago I made a poll for my next Ultimate Showcase. And Attuma and Namor won it, like by a landslide actually. So yeah, this is highly requested, so here we go. Rank 4, Sig 101 Attuma. By the time the showcase starts, hopefully like he is Sig 200, but we'll just have to see, right? So let's just go over some fights and some mechanics that he has. So what changed with Attuma? So the first part is, the start of the fight now grants you 2 concussions if you have him at high Sig, which is just massive, right? Because it gives him willpower healing immediately. It gives him a lot of like, a lot less ramp up like overall because the concussions help you get more hydration. And additionally, on the SP2, the cruelty duration increased by 6 seconds. So it went from 10 seconds to 16 seconds, which is just massive, right? Like that does so much for the champion. It makes him like 100 times more practical. So let's go over the rotation now. So I always drop the SP1 first because it gives like some hydration. Then I use heavy attacks to convert it into concussions. And now I go for the SP2. I have 20 hydration now, so that's the maximum. So now you're unstoppable. So you just can take a ton of hits and you can just convert the concussions once again. And yeah, after that, I go for the SP3 and the fight is just over. And the higher the Sig, the like more damage he does after the SP3, because his signature ability now states, for each bleed on you or the opponent, your damage output like from the Thorns damage is increased by up to 17.5% at Sig 200. So here we drop the SP2 and yeah, it just does a lot of damage, man. Like look at this damage output, it is just crazy good. And we can just play ultra aggressive because of the unstoppable. So yeah, just a very fun time, and he just ends this fight in a very good amount of time. So yeah, just a very awesome champion. He just like wiped that Winter Soldier after the SP3, and that was about 1 minute and 27 seconds, which my 5-star does about like 148. So yeah, a massive increase, and he's not even 600 yet. So yeah, just very cool. And now we have this Deadpool, which is like a good testing of Battlegrounds. Like he is not really a Battlegrounds character, I feel like, except for defense. He is a monster on defense. Like it is crazy good how like strong he is if you don't have the right counter. Like, you know, Namor, Kitty Pryde, there are a few other characters that counter them, but like they are the best 2 by far. And yeah, like he is a menace on defense, man. So he is easily worth like being put into your Battlegrounds deck, and he can do some offensive work too, especially versus science characters that have like debuffs, because on his heavy attack, he purifies either hydration or non-damaging debuffs. So yeah, he can just be crazy good for science characters. So here I drop the SP2 as usual, and yeah, it does some pretty nice damage output. Then we want to rush to the SP2 again, but keep your hydrations up because they increase your attack rating. So yeah, you'll just like have some nice bonus damage there. And then when you're close to SP2, convert them, drop the SP2 again, and yeah, that'll just be the end of the fight pretty much. And yeah, pretty clean fight overall. That was about 57 seconds, which isn't too bad for sure. I feel like 1 minute to 1 minute and 10 seconds is like his average for like Battlegrounds health pools, which isn't too bad at all. For like a mainly like defense-based character in Battlegrounds, it's pretty dang solid. And additionally, in like longer fights, he can stack up a ton of concussions and just do some nasty damage, man. The Thorns damage, like after the SP3, is just wild. It is so wild. So here we drop the SP2 and it does some pretty nice damage output, but that's not like the real part. The real part is the SP3, because oh my gosh, she just gets like deleted, man. It is so awesome. But yeah, we're doing 10k medium, so which is pretty dang sweet. The cruelties are stacking up for sure. So yeah, that leads to some really nice yellow numbers, but that's not the important part, because they're close to SP3, and when it's time to drop it, she's just done for. Like she is absolutely done for. So we go for the parry here, then we drop the SP3, and look at this damage output, man. It is so good. This is no synergy, by the way. This is just him by himself. And yeah, she's just getting like absolutely melted, man. Like 30,000 something Thorns damage. Yeah, it's just craziness. So then we drop the SP1, and yeah, she is just done. And that was 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is pretty dang solid overall. And now we have against robots. People call him the anti-skill Magneto because he like does crazy damage to robots, but he gets increased ability accuracy, which kind of makes sense to be fair. But Attuma doesn't care about like the metal tag or anything. It's just if they're bleed immune, he just does crazy numbers, right? So yeah, we go for this SP3 here, and the damage output, it's a bit silly, man. It is so silly. So we drop the SP3 now after the parry, and then here we go. It's time to drop the SP3, and what do you know? The numbers are just insane. Look at that damage, man. 32,000 light attacks, 47,000 Thorns damage. It is just It's madness, man. He hits me, he's down. Just like that. It is so crazy. And yeah, that's to be it for this like little introduction to Attuma, my rank 4 Attuma. The full showcase should be like probably next week or so. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on Attuma, and that's about it for me.